Donkey Kong.
Well, yes, there is in fact a Kongus among us. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. The name's Defender, and welcome back to more Donkey Kong 64. Last time, after completing Frantic Factory, we now have all the Kongs. So now there's nothing that can stop us from continuing to collect the rest of Donkey Kong's scattered banana hoard. We also managed to clean up both Jungle Japes and Angry Aztecs, so the only thing left to do is to move on to World 4. Also, good afternoon, Flag Ninja. We're glad to have you here. Hope your Saturday's going well. But yeah, here it is. Say goodbye to all of the color and all of the pizzazz, as I think it's pretty incontrovertible, even among the people who really, really like this game, like me. This world is probably the least favorite out of the game. There are still good things about it, absolutely, but I think just pound for pound, this one's the most underwhelming. We need 30 golden bananas to get in here. I see working for Rool is just as delightful as one could expect. But I really like these cutscenes. It helps continue to reinforce that, Also, welcome to Gloomy Galleon. Contain your excitement. But I really like the cutscenes, not just because they provide a little bit of levity, but also it's nice to go back to see Rool from time to time, because it's like, oh yeah, he's like trying to prepare his doomsday machine to vaporize us off the face of the earth. So, it's always nice to be reminded of what we're working towards. DK, Donkey Kong is here. He sure is, and everyone else. Hello. Bring back Daivari. We're glad to have you here. Hope your Saturday's going well. And it's Pikester. Oh, okay. You know, I would never have guessed if you had not have told me, so I really appreciate that. But yeah, this place is like combination wrecked pirate ship and sunken underwater ruins, which is a cool aesthetic, certainly, and certainly not out of place for the Donkey Kong world. But it's just, unfortunately, like, the color palette and the soundtrack is just all so muted. I think that's the right way to describe this world. It's very muted, which, again, for the aesthetic, I understand. It's just, unfortunately, not really high octane. You know, the, like, sunken pirate ship motif is something that we definitely saw in Donkey Kong Country 2 specifically. But there it was more threatening, more adventurous. You know, it's these deep underwater pirate ships. You know, there are enemies everywhere. It's just not a safe place. Here, it feels forgotten, abandoned, which I don't prefer as much, but at least nobody can say that it's not distinct. How's it been? This game looks cool, and for DK, yeah, this feels a bit off. Yeah, it's been going great, actually. I just got started, because I had some errands I had to run earlier today. Thankfully, I got those taken care of, so I can enjoy the rest of my weekend. But yeah, it's just kind of been more of the same. I've been playing way too many big RPGs on the channel. Good friend Flag Ninja has been a part of many of those because I've been working my way through the mainline Final Fantasy games, at least the ones that were part of the Pixel Remaster, and those have been a great time, but it's been nice to have something a bit more digestible, which I know for a lot of people might raise a big question mark. Like, Donkey Kong 64 is digestible? And yes, compared to all the big friggin' RPGs I've been playing, yes. DK64 Archipelago Rando when? I'm not sure. Because I know I was part of, like, just a casual randomizer a little while ago. It's just, I've been kind of busy, honestly. Oh, you're back again. There we go. Plus, I did want to do something that was just more casual, because unlike all of the other games that I've been recently playing, I'm extremely familiar with this one. So it's been nice to be able to autopilot a little bit more. It's still being developed, but by the time I have the spoons to put another one together, it should be more ready. Oh, that's exciting, because yeah, I've definitely seen a lot of people playing the Donkey Kong 64 randomizer recently. I mean, I know it's been around for a couple of years, but it's really reinvigorated interest in this game, which I'm always for. Yeah, we're just kind of going around, getting the world open, which this is definitely something that the later worlds are more guilty of, where they block your progress to many different parts of the stage, requiring you to switch Kongs just to, like, begin the navigation to... I think they found another collectible too recently. It's a colored banana in an out-of-bounds area. That would not surprise me. What even... You know what? There was that balloon for DK over here. So let's go take care of that. And again, I think this... I know I've mentioned this before, but like my usual strategy for this game is tackle each area as like a little pocket, which means maybe more frequent switching, but it makes it much easier to remember where you've already been and what you've collected. Invalidating everyone's 100%. Yeah, that's not very fun. But thankfully, the 101% does not actually care about the number of bananas you collect in terms of the game counter. It just cares if you've collected the banana medals. Quality of life from the rando that I wish was in the main game, the ability to swap Kongs on the fly. I actually mentioned something about that in the last session, and while I do agree that definitely makes things very nice, I think if I were tasked with how do you solve the Kong switching problem in Donkey Kong 64, it would not be the strategy that I would go for, because I mentioned that I think that solution is very much trying to use a sledgehammer to crack a walnut. It solves the problem, but in a very blunt and inelegant way. Though I do agree, this game would be better if it had that mechanic. I do not refute that point. It does trivialize some puzzles. Yeah, that's kind of what I was getting towards. I'd mentioned that my idea would have been to kind of steal an idea from a contemporary Spyro 3 Year of the Dragon. But given the nature of rando, this is a better solution than barrels. Yes, very much so. I agree with that. But yeah, in Spyro 3, the idea is that you usually play as Spyro, but at different parts of the stage and throughout the game, you'll rescue different animal friends that you can play as, and they all have their own different playstyles and that kind of thing. But you only switch to those characters in specific pockets of the stage. So you only ever become those characters explicitly when they are required. Nowhere else. Everything else is handled by Spyro. And I think that's something that could have really worked here. Like if, say, in the first stage, Jungle Japes, Donkey Kong was the main Kong who would explore the main area. You could then have Diddy, Lanky, Tiny, and Chunky all in smaller portions of the stage that they'd be like standing in front of and be like, hey, you want to switch to me for this area? And then you do that. Then you get to play as them for a little bit, and they're only in an area that's specifically designed for them. And if you wanted to make it so that unlocking the Kongs is still necessary to complete the game, you could have a different Kong be the main Kong in each segment. So like in Angry Aztec, Diddy would be the main Kong, and Donkey would take up one of the small pockets. And then you could just carry that through the rest of the game. It means that you only ever have to switch to a Kong when you need them for their part of the stage and nowhere else. It also means that, say you miss something with one of the Kongs, well, if they're one of the small pocket Kongs, you know what they have and you need to find can only be contained in a small area. You don't have the situation where, like with the Donkey Balloon that we saw in Chunky's room with the big treasure chests, Donkey Kong has no reason to go there except for the balloon. So it feels unnecessary to make him go that way. But yeah, that's all just a big roundabout way of saying I do agree that this game is better with the Tag Anywhere system. I just think that there's, at least if I were the one to have designed this game, which I know is a humongous amount of hubris to have, but this game is 25 years old. I don't think there's going to be very many people who would argue with ways to improve Donkey Kong 64. That's how I would do it. But yeah, I think first things first. Yeah, we're gonna no, let's explore here first. Because this part of the stage has the big gimmick, the water level switches. And this causes the water for the entire stage to affect. Which means that that other section that we opened up with Diddy's Peanut Pop Guns also has water that will be affected by this switch. Which means that, yes, there will be a lot of back and forth we'll need to take care of. But yeah, just keeping the water level high will allow us to access this lighthouse island. Let's see, we got Snide's HQ here. You know what? I don't even want to play with you. Oops. Well, maybe that's what I deserve. Darn it. All right. All right, now we have this. You know, I managed to complete the Donkey Kong arcade machine on my first try. This is legitimately the most difficult thing I've done so far in this playthrough. Finally. It's always the things that you don't think would be the hardest that turn out to be the most difficult. Anyway, Snide's right here, so we might as well cash this blueprint in. Oh, the boxing glove. Yeah, that's the strangest one. I don't know what that's supposed to solve. Like, I understand he's supposed to be, like, a weird inventor guy, but even that one makes me scratch my head. a funny prank to play on Kongs. So someone's having a laugh. It's not me, though. Although Gloomy Galleon does have one cool thing about it. It's home to the second Animal Buddy transformation. As I collect this. Please give me the thing. Thank you for the thing. I will say, though, having infinite oxygen definitely makes Gloomy Galleon not a death trap, which is much appreciated. But yeah, this is Ungard the Swordfish. Swim through the water with the greatest of ease. Press and hold the A button to swim quickly, and you can press the B button to jab. There's a golden banana, but you actually cannot pick up the banana as an animal buddy, which requires reverting. But we still have a couple treasure chests to bash open. Of course, some good old N64 slowdown. That's how you know this is the authentic experience. If it doesn't look like the game is slowly melting, you know, it's not an official N64. Alright, I think... No, there's still one more thing we can do with Ungard here. We could bash through the big wooden panel that has his face on it. That was convenient of the designers. I forget, what's even down here? There's some crystal coconuts, some ammo, and a Trophenscoff portal. What a weird spot for a Trophenscoff portal. Has anyone ever actually used that portal before? Like, to legitimately fight the boss and all that? I don't know, it seems really out of the way. Because I know the portal that I use in this world all the time is the one by the 3 banana porter pad, the one that had the purple kasplat. Most because I actually remember that location. Alright, tiny time. Let's see, I don't actually remember if this is one of those golden bananas you don't have to trigger first before you can actually pick it up, but I'm not going to take the risk, as long as I'm here. Yeah, this mermaid needs her pearls. Alright, we'll be on the lookout for them. Let's see, I don't think there's... Yeah, it's just some crystal coconuts and some coins. Nothing else. But yeah, Gloomy Galleon does fill the requisite, like, water stage that was ubiquitous with all the 3D collectathons of the time. It's just, it's not it's not one of the... What's the term that I'm looking for? Of, like, the collective of games of this time, it's just not one of the best. Because, like, I vastly prefer Jolly Roger Bay and Dire Dire Docks from Super Mario 64, because those are very calming, even with the somewhat primitive underwater controls. I would even say that I think I prefer Jolly Roger's Lagoon in Banjo-Tooie, and even Clanker's Cavern from Banjo-Kazooie, because at least Clanker's Cavern stands out as a water-type level. Because, you know, it's basically an underwater garbage disposal plant. That's at least interesting and unique. Even though that place is also a screaming death trap. Let's see. Actually, I think we need good old Danky Kang for this next part. I do like that even all the sounds in the tag barrel are muted while underwater. That is a nice touch. Again, I don't think Gloomy Galleon is like a poorly constructed level or anything like that. It's just visually and sonically just kind of drab. Gonna make sure to get that balloon on my way out. Yeah, here we are in the lighthouse. Out of my way, Tubby. Excuse me? Maybe even gloomy, yes. At least it's not false advertising. Also, I'm pretty sure my first orange did hit that guy, and it didn't defeat him. Don't ask me why. Here we are. But yeah, there should be... Aha! I think I have to hit that from the ground level. And I know... I've definitely... Especially as I've gotten older... Oh, nice. Long-range shot. I've definitely become someone who's like, as soon as I notice a problem, I have to try and solve it, or at least do something to try to advance completion on it, if that makes sense, because I know I'm gonna forget about it if I don't. Yeah, this platforming section always reminded me of trying to climb up the tower in Whomp's Fortress in Super Mario 64. And since I played this game first, when I eventually did play Super Mario 64 as a kid, I was like, oh, they copied this sequence from Donkey Kong 64, not understanding how the passage of time works quite yet. Alright, let's fire up the lighthouse. Oh no, sounds like someone's walking outside. Somehow the environment has gotten even darker. Well, I guess that makes sense. We've brought an old Rool pirate ship out into the harbor. Is this even a harbor? You know, saying that out loud, what is the technical definition of a harbor? Like, how is it different from a port? You're fine, DK. Just walk it off. I don't know, it's just, again, one of those occasional random questions that pops up in my brain and is like, I don't know. All right. We got ourselves a... Oh, yeah. Look at... that's some tasty slowdown. Oh, yeah. Where's that balloon? There you are. A harbor is a body of water deep enough to anchor your boat that is also protected somewhat. So this is definitely a harbor. Okay, great. I think that a port has to be a settlement. Okay, that makes sense. Thank you for confirming. I knew I kept you around for something, Flag Ninja. Anyway, off to the sky! I know things sometimes, or at least I can look things up while you game. I appreciate that. Not expected, always appreciated. Yeah, this one is actually kind of a maze, which I appreciate. This one requires a little problem solving. That's not right. So not you. Not you, for sure. Not bad. Now we let that seal out of his cage. He's sure swimming all right. And then he teleported. Alrighty. So I remember from when we were in guard, there are some DK bananas over here. That's another shiny banana mantle for the pile. Let's see, there's the lower the water switch, which I'm not going to press right now. I think we're gonna switch to no, not Diddy yet. We'll switch to Chunky. Let's see, we can actually get onto the pirate ship, and we'll need to as Chunky. Oh, look at that 3-point turn the boat just made. Should be able to. There we go. I don't think there's anything up here in the... Oh, there's a red... Ah, I see. That's how you're supposed to get there. Well, I remember that for sure. So I'm not really sure, like, what's supposed to signal that you can do this. Maybe, like, if you try and slam on it with a different Kong, it's like, oh, you're not heavy enough. But Chunky can slam his way in. Yeah, this is probably one of the more memorable golden bananas in the game. We gotta punch these barrels and make sure we hit the Chunky panel, which is the weak one. Or, you could just kind of lag into them. And this not only earns us a golden banana, but a nasty bout of seasickness. Now we have to stumble our way out of here with weird controls. And also a kind of nauseating camera shake. If you're watching this while eating, you might want to stop watching for a moment. I'm gonna tank the hits, it's okay. I got more than enough health. This ain't even a challenge. Alright. I do like that golden banana. It at least sticks out in my mind. Alright, and we're back. Let's see, I got those bananas under the water here, which is important. I think we can switch to Diddy Kong. I've been out on the water, like the deep ocean water, a couple of times. Thankfully, I have not gotten seasick yet, but I've also not really been on any truly, like, choppy water or anything like that. So I'm not actually sure how susceptible I am to seasickness. I hope the answer's not really, because I know on my mother's family, my uncle is extremely vulnerable to seasickness. But meanwhile, on my dad's entire family are basically immune to it. They have many stories of, like, boats, like, pitching severely on the ocean, and, like, everyone being fine. Well, everyone on my dad's family being absolutely fine, and everyone else is absolutely, like, sick. So, I hope I've inherited their inheritance. Well, I hope I get that as well. I've inherited their immunity to seasickness. But yeah, the Diddy switch on the pirate ship summons a golden banana. So using that guitar gazump pad, can I just backflip up to it? No, of course they. Well, maybe. No. Oh well. Now, where... Okay, there's the entrance. Because anyone who's played this game definitely remembers this golden banana. Not fondly, but they remember it. It's the giant mechanical fish. Where's my entrance? There it is. I hate that guy. Yeah, he's infamous. Is he the worst golden banana in the game? I know some people definitely feel that way. I'm not sure if I could qualify him as my personal least favorite golden banana, but he's definitely one of the worst golden bananas. I can say that for sure. Beaver bother, yes. I agree entirely. It is the worst. So yeah, what you actually have to do is, kind of defies all logic, you need to swim into the mouth of the giant mechanical fish to let him eat you. Which takes us to here. So we've got some... So what we need to do is we need to literally stop his heart by shooting the like, panels. We only get 100 seconds after we hit the first switch. And the water level will rise as things go on, and also introduce just the most lag you ever did see. Unfortunately, I did not hit the bottom panel, which won't be actually too much of a problem because we get the most chances to hit that one. And yeah, the propellers actually prevent us from striking the panels, so we have to wait. I should have guitar gazumped first. Also, fun fact, on original hardware, which is what I'm playing on, if you pick up the upgrade from Creepy Castle, the sniper scope, it actually... Uh-oh. It actually introduces so much lag into the equation, the challenge is no longer completable. I'm gonna lose. I'm gonna lose. Yep, I'm gonna lose. And now that I've lost, I get spit out with nothing. Now I have to go back and do it again. You know what? I take it back. This one is the worst. Not because it's the hardest banana in the game, but because if you lose, you're punished so severely for it. I'm just gonna recover my health. And it's like, all they had to do was just not have the zingers. They just... Oh well. Oh, it's also probably going to show me the cutscene, too, again. Yep. Don't mind me, I'm just quietly, stewing in my hatred of this. Hey, I might love Donkey Kong 64 unconditionally and, like, unequivocally, but not every part of it is good. Not every part of it is good. Excuse me, are you gonna, like, open your mouth, please? Like, it's already bad enough that I... Easy, Defender. Easy. It's just a video game. It's one of your favorites. Doesn't have to be like this. Okay. Good old rareware jank, yep. Alright, so... we're not gonna hit the bottom one. Here's what we're gonna do. There we go, okay. Now, it is possible to hit both of the top targets. That is one way to take out the zinger. Yep, well, they give it to me. They give me a screen clear. I might as well use it. It's like I also have to conserve my ammo for this as well. Yeah, you also got to make sure you shoot each target quickly, because the propeller will start spinning again once you hit a target. So the sooner... That didn't count. Okay, good. Okay. I don't think the zingers are back yet. I thought maybe shooting like one of the already destroyed targets would cause the propeller to spin more quickly again. Clearly, no such luxury will be afforded to us. Okay, cool. I do like that the fish has like buttons for sneeze and that kind of thing. That is a nice touch. I will give it one nicety. It gets one as a treat. Alright, well, good riddance. Because let's see, I'm trying to think of anything else in the stage. I think that's the worst one, which is good. Because I know I said earlier, like, taken in a vacuum, I would say a majority of the individual challenges you do for Golden Bananas are fun, or at the very least, inoffensive. Of course, there are some that are neither of those things. They are not fun, and they are an affront to basic human decency, but, you know, as long as the majority of the game isn't like that, I'll manage. It also definitely helps that, you know, this is not my first time playing this game. There's a lot of problems I find, especially with games of this era, that as long as you have some prior experience with them, it's much easier to approach them and even kind of forgive their flaws, to at least a certain degree. That still doesn't mean that those, like, issues are not significant problems and should not have been corrected in the game design, but it becomes easier to allow for them, I would say. It's always been one of the interesting things, because sometimes, like, I will watch people on Twitch play, like, these types of games for the first time, and it's usually always a struggle, which is not necessarily their fault. Again, these games are old. They do require you to kind of meet them halfway sometimes, and it's not always an easy thing to do, nor is it always something you should do. Because it's like, even by the standards of the time, some things are just, like, not acceptable. Let's see. What do I need to do now with... Oh, I know what I need to do. Well, it's not with Diddy specifically. It's with good old Lanky. Because we've got another Unguard crate. That has been one of the most interesting things about, like, me streaming these old games in general, just throughout the course of my career here on the internet. It's always been really interesting to go back to these games And now that I've become, you know, older, much more critical, both in terms of my opinion and also, like, my thinking, to see, like, oh, these are the things that these games still actually do quite well. These are things that were good ideas. They just needed some fleshing out. And it was like, yeah, that was a terrible idea. Why did anyone think that would work? Yeah, we have to fly high into the sky in order to pass through the decay star. We gotta do it 3 times in order to unlock another gate. Again, this is another interesting part, because this is really one of the few times that, like, there's actual... How do I want to describe this? Like, this is probably one of the most difficult doors to unlock in the game, at least in terms of, like, the gated progression in a stage. Because we certainly... I know we had to knock down, like, the big portrait with Rambi in Jungle Japes, but that wasn't exactly much of a brain teaser, or really a test of any of our platforming skills. But jumping out of the water to jump through the star definitely requires some... you know, making sure you know how fast you're going and what angle you're taking when you jump out of the water. It's an unexpectedly difficult platforming moment, and I appreciate that. Like, there's no time limit, there's no enemies around, it's just you and your ability to position. And I like that. See, those are Diddy bananas. I guess one question that I should answer, and thinking on it, maybe I should have answered this sooner, but if what I'm doing is like a playthrough review, why not just make something for YouTube? Like just a structured video to talk about what you like and don't like. And that was something that I had considered, but I'll be honest, I've never been good at any kind of... I think there's supposed to be lanky coins somewhere. Actually, they're not even worth percentage, and I don't need more money. I don't have to worry about them. But yeah, just like sticking to a script or anything like that just feels too stifling to me. I've made scripted content before, absolutely. Way back in the before times when I made those DRG, like, instructional work videos. That was an interesting idea. I really liked doing those, but I didn't have the best equipment at the time and just not really the best sense of how I wanted to go about those, so it was a necessary step forward, but unfortunately it was just not to the quality standard that I would hold myself to today, so I haven't really done much with that in terms of the scripted content, but I know that especially on a platform like this, there's not really that much in terms of, like, reviewing games as they're being played through. It's usually just supposed to be a casual experience, you know, you're talking, you're joking, or it's like a challenge run, like a speed run or some kind of other challenge that you're doing. And I'm not saying that, like, what I'm doing is going to be the next peak of content creation here on Twitch. It's just, I thought it was an interesting idea that I didn't see very many people doing, and it's like, you know what? I'm going to take a swing at it. Maybe it'll be a horrible disaster, but you know what? At least I tried. But yeah, this is Stealthy Snoop again. And we have to make sure we don't get caught by the cops again. Now, the real question is, do I remember the way to actually get to the checkered flag in this one? Judging by that this is a dead end, the answer is no. So please, catch me and let's start again.
Welcome to bonus stage.
Yeah, I think Stealthy Snoop would be a bit better if it was more... like, if there wasn't the time limit. Just, like, make the navigation a bit more difficult, and just make it the goal, get to the end without getting caught. Because, you know, if you go the wrong way, especially in something like this, you're not gonna have enough time to be able to. Oh, I think we go straight here. Because yeah, if you just won't have enough time to actually get to the end, which is not what you want. I will say, it's definitely interesting that the randomizers actually take these guys and put them in the main stages with the same idea that if you get in their spotlights, you get caught. I think it's this way. No, that's a dead end. Ah! No, wait, that was the end. Okay. They insta-kill you. Yep. Okay, got it. So, hang a left, straight, then right. I comprehend. It's really funny, actually. I can imagine. Oh. I was trying to squeeze by the little gap. Clearly, it was not big enough. I think the only way to kill them is with the shockwave.
Welcome to bonus stage.
That sounds correct. I think I've actually seen them be defeated by, like, okay. I've definitely made that before. I just need to, like, skip the introductory text to give myself enough time to actually make that cut.
Welcome to bonus stage.
Yeah, that's great. Let me at him. Anything to shave a few precious seconds off the clock. But I think you can kill the cops with your weapons, like with the peanut pop gun and that kind of thing. I could be very wrong, though. Can you? Hold on. Sorry, I gotta try something. Okay, that does not work here. Which means they added that functionality into the randomizer. That's cool.
Welcome to bonus stage.
Sorry, I had to do that for some science. Because it's like, well, if they can be killed in the randomizer with the shockwave, maybe that works here, and it doesn't. But that's okay. We learned something today. Nope, that's gonna get me caught.
Well done!
There we go. Took us a couple of tries, but we made it in the end. Stealthy Snoop is definitely an interesting minigame, I will give it that. And for collecting this golden banana, we activate a banana porter. Which I think that's something I mentioned in a previous session. But I really do like that I can't really think of any other 3D collectathon of this era, or even at all, that makes the, like, teleporters that you used to get around part of a puzzle solution. Because that banana porter there is the only way that Donkey Kong can get his blueprint piece. And that's just an interesting idea, like using a mechanic that you would not normally associate with trying to solve a puzzle in that way. I always appreciate it when developers are able to get, like, the most mileage out of all of the concepts and ideas they come up with. Anyway, we're inside the treasure chest with these absolutely horrifying clams with these gigantic teeth. I don't know what it was about, like, games from this era, but they were really unafraid of absolutely terrifying children. I mean, just look at The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. Yeah, rated E for Eternal Night Terrors. Who allowed this? Who thought that was a good idea? Not me. Let's see, I'm pretty sure... Did I get the center one? No. Because, let's see, there's one in every corner. No, come on, coin. What? More good old rare jank. It's like, yes, it still annoys me, but, like, I can't help but love it. Wild, I know, right? It's just absolutely bonkers. The hitbox is the bottom, not the middle. That's amazing. Yeah, it's definitely interesting. Okay, yep. Now we got the pearls. Alright, let's tag in Lanky. We still have one thing we can do with him here. Well, that was jank. Like, usually, at least if something that happens is funny, I'm more accepting of it. Like, that was just a funny little interaction. Yeah, I'm gonna need, like, I'm gonna need the planet's finest scientists to explain what just happened there. Wow, the DK rap was true. You really do have no grace, Lanky. Yeah, I have no idea how to explain that. Sorry, I had to literally scratch my head in that moment because I'm like, just sheer befuddlement. Alright, but it's time for another bonus stage.
Welcome to bonus stage.
This is a new one, Searchlight Seek. Find and shoot all the claptraps. Press A to fire a melon. So yeah, you got yourself a little spotlight, you gotta track down the little guys, then pelt them. Unlike the other melon shooters, you have unlimited ammo in this one.
Well done!
Yeah, I would say Searchlight Seek is definitely one of the better minigames. Ow. see, we need to become good old Danky Kang again. I don't know why, that's always funny to say. I don't know why, but for some reason, in terms of, like, internet humor, mispronouncing words is, like, I don't know, just one of the peak comedies that you can engage in. I'm not sure why. Maybe it's just because we know, like, how certain words are supposed to both be spelt and sound, and so when they aren't, but you're still able to understand what it is they're trying to communicate, the cognitive dissonance makes you laugh. Oh, if you're gonna be like that, I'm not gonna play your game. Let me think. I'm actually trying to think how much stuff I picked up so far. Quite a decent amount of it. Because I'm trying to think, what else do I need the water level to be high to accomplish? Also, unlike every other shop here in Gloomy Galleon, Candy has an upgrade for us. For a measly 5 coins. But each Kong can now hold 15 uses of their musical instrument. And over here, it's that seal from before. Through yonder tunnel and join me in a little race. 2 laps and collect 10 pieces of 8 along the way. Press Z to set sail and use the control stick to navigate. Hold R to turn more sharply and press A to jump. Also, yes, as you may have seen, the buttons you push on the overworld can actually affect the text speed on these types of boxes, which does mean if you press the B button in the overworld, you will skip the text box. I don't know why they did that. But yeah, it's time for a little, Wave Race 64 as by Donkey Kong 64. You gotta go through the buoys while collecting 10 coins. You are allowed up to 5 misses, and you're not penalized for... As long as you don't go over the 5 misses, you're fine. So you can use it as like an allowance if you fall behind to catch back up. Also, do watch out for the crates, as if you hit one, you'll not only slow down, but drop some cash. Also, the seal makes a funny noise if you ram into him. Also, I'm not sure if the design was intentional, but they make your boat look like an open half of a coconut. Because, like, the bottom looks brown and the interior looks white. I actually think that's what it is. It is a coconut. Again, that's just one of those small details that you probably wouldn't notice, and it's not like it affects the gameplay if you do notice it, but still, it's neat. It's the kind of charm that Rare was well known for back in the day. The coconut boat is definitely intentional, yep. Let's see. Collect the coins. There's Funky, but we have no need for his services right now. So let's see, yes, some of these pads are underwater, but the bongos and the saxophone are not. The trombone and the guitar are. But before we do that, we're going to switch to Chunky, just because he's got a balloon here as well as his Kasplat. Boy, was that tough. Yeah, I would definitely say the motorboat race is a really good golden banana. I really like that one. I know that I've given, like, some golden bananas as part of this project, like, explicit grades, but I find that, like, a number or a grading system for this kind of thing is not really that useful, because it's, at least for me, this is such a personally enjoyable game. You know, as I've said before, this is the first video game I've ever played. I'm gonna have some skewed opinions on the quality of this game. And I don't think that makes my opinion invalid. It just makes my opinion in, you know, the collective of ideas. And I think there's definitely value in that, because there's definitely, I know there's like a temptation, especially recently, to make like reviews be as objective as possible. Like, you know, discussing solely the merits and faults of something. And I don't think that's an invalid way of reviewing something, but it misses out on the very personal aspect of video games. You know, people are going to like different things for different reasons. Some of them are pretty general. You know, I did not grow up with this particular video game system, so I never played the games that it had. And others are for extremely deeply personal reasons that are unique to them. I think it's just this idea of somehow liking something for purely personal reasons, or even like a reason that you can't really describe adequately because it is so deeply personal to your living experience that it's seen as inferior in a way. Like, well, you have to be able to explain how you feel about something, otherwise, you know, how is anyone gonna take what you say seriously? And I think that's just, it's a limited way of looking at things. You know, nobody is going to be able to experience Donkey Kong 64, like I do. Some people are going to love it just like I do, others are not. And it might be that maybe this was also someone's, there's supposed to be like a banana fairy somewhere around here, right? Or is it Tiny that gets that? It might be Tiny that gets that. Sorry, I'm being very distracted. But, it looks like Tiny's the one who gets it. Okay. I guess what I'm trying to say is that just taking the personal out of personal opinion just feels wrong to me. I'm not really sure if I've explained my feelings on this very well, but that's also part of, you know, a personal experience. Sometimes it is really difficult to explain why you feel a certain way about a certain thing. But you still feel it. It doesn't mean that it's not valid. See, now it's Tiny's turn on the weird cactus island. Because, yeah, I hope what I've been doing throughout me replaying this game has provided you at least with a good picture of why Defender really loves this game, even despite all of the faults and shortcomings. Because I'm reasonably certain that, especially for a game as old as this, I'm not really going to be able to change anyone's opinion, nor is that my goal. It's just that the main conceit of why I wanted to do this was, well, first, it had been several years since I had played this game last, both in terms of just personally and also on Twitch, so it's like, hey, you know what, this is a good opportunity, and it's also the game's 25th anniversary, gotta do something special for that. But I also just wanted to put out there, in the ether, hello, this is Defender. This is why I love Donkey Kong 64. Warts and all. And I don't know if that makes me sound kind of pompous, in a sense, but I don't know, it's just, I felt like I would not be able to live with myself if that was actually really easy. I was not anticipating it being that easy. That banana fairy usually gives me a lot of problems. I would not be able to live with myself if I did not at some point communicate to the world, and whether anyone would listen, that, you know, that would be a different story. But this is why I love Donkey Kong 64. I just have to talk about it. Really, my greatest hope for this whole thing is that if even just one person listens to this, watches this, and still comes away with like, okay, maybe I still really dislike Donkey Kong 64, but you know what? I understand why this guy loves Donkey Kong 64. That would validate everything. That's all that this needs to be for me. I mean, I'm having a great time doing this, so I already consider this a massive success, but anything past that, that's just gravy on top. Got a tasty banana medal. Still, I'm definitely glad that we have the little fish following us around to help light up the environment. That's also something that we saw in other Donkey Kong Country games. Again, I do think Rare did a great job in translating, you know, how Donkey Kong Country worked in a 2D space and then manipulating it in a 3D space. You stop and look and chat for one moment and you completely miss the barrel you're trying to swim into.
Welcome to bonus stage.
Another round of Kremling Kosh. That's 100 golden bananas, which is actually all that we need in order to finish the game. Yeah, this game is extremely generous with the amount of total golden bananas you need to collect in order to beat the game. Which I definitely think is a legitimate strength of this game. Where is the exit? There it is. I couldn't find it for a second because there was no gamer yellow paint. Let's see. Oh, I know what we should do next. Way over yonder, I guess it should be under yonder in this case, there's this weird structure. If we swim to the front while teeny tiny, and if the camera will cooperate, we can swim inside. And this gives us access to this dingy, I think it's supposed to be a submarine. But there's another bonus barrel here.
Welcome to bonus stage.
Big Bug Bash. Again, definitely one of the lower mini games on the list here. Yeah, what I found is that if you can get into a good rhythm and like smash the bugs as soon as they appear, when they're at their slowest and they move in the most predictable trajectory, it makes that minigame much easier. Well, I guess I still wouldn't call it easy, but easier. I will say that. Oh, I know something that I can do. But yeah, if there's like any topic on Donkey Kong 64, like specifically that you think, oh, I kind of want to hear what Defender has to say about this specifically. Maybe it's something that hasn't come up yet. Maybe it's something that I've already talked about, but you weren't here. Or it's like, you know, I'm not even sure if he's addressed this part, but it was something that I'm interested in. Let me know. Because, yeah, I guess in my ideal world, this would be like an active, open discussion. Like, you know, if you got questions about how I feel about something, or maybe it's like, I feel this way about this thing, I would love to hear it. Because, yeah, while the water's still high, we want to make sure we go over here. Oh, I'm stuck. There we go. Work with me, camera. This is Lanky's. Now. Let's see. I need to go return the pearls. Let's go do that first. Oh, I know something we could talk about. And this is one of the nice parts about doing projects like this in the modern age. We can talk about modern things. So, who's excited about that Donkey Kong Bonanza trailer that Nintendo showed off earlier this week? I think Tiny gets to meet the most interesting NPCs in this game. That is very true, because she gets to meet both the mermaid here and also the Banana Fairy Queen. You know, that's an important part of the game. Because let's see. Diddy... Yeah, everyone does interact with a couple of NPCs, but yeah, Tiny has the most interesting ones. I definitely agree with that, Flag. I'm going to wait and see. I have to admit, and I know I mentioned this, because I think we had actually talked about this during our Final Fantasy V playthrough. I am extremely conflicted. Because as the world's #1 Donkey Kong 64 enjoyer, I almost feel like it's my sworn duty to play it at some point, and I do intend to, but it's also like... $80 though! No, I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't. It's too much. Too much. $80? Yes, I think it's supposed to follow the same tradition of Mario Kart World. I don't think they've actually officially announced the price, but if Mario Kart World is $80, knowing Nintendo, I cannot see a world where Donkey Kong 64 is not at least, not Donkey Kong 64, Donkey Kong Bonanza is not at least $70, if not $80. And it's like, I'm sorry, I can't do, I want to love you, please, you look so good, it's just, no, not at that price, I can't, I'm sorry, I have too many other games that I could be playing, I do intend eventually, maybe when the Switch 2 drops in price, and we also get, like, the upgraded model with a better battery capacity or anything like that, then maybe we'll talk about it. But right now, absolutely not. No chance whatsoever. Sorry. And it sucks. It sucks. But I'm not doing it. I'm refusing to spend money on Nintendo stuff until they revise their stance on emulation. You know what? Fair. I'm actually trying to think, like... What was the last Nintendo thing I bought? Because it has been a while. I mean, I bought, like, used games from a second-hand store. In practice, this means I am no longer spending money on Nintendo stuff. Fair enough. Because, yeah, I know it's a really antiquated stance on emulation, which sucks. Especially considering that, you know, all of, you know, the Nintendo Switch Online stuff is emulation. And it is. It's just, it's Nintendo-endorsed emulation, but it's emulation. But yeah, emulation is pretty much the only way that lots of people are even able to play older games anymore without, you know, having to track down increasingly hard to find and most likely broken equipment and games. I forget, is there something to knock down at the end of this? No. Oh. And I will admit, I am usually someone, because I am one of the old guard for at least, like, this generation of games, so I still have functioning equipment and the games themselves, so I endeavor to try and play on authentic hardware, but, you know, especially if the game is, like, a couple $100 or even more than that these days, like, listen, if at any point Donkey Kong 64 somehow manages to be a game that you have to spend over $100 or something like that to play, no, don't do it. Emulate it. It's like, I'm not your dad. And we are on the internet. You all are intelligent people. You can do whatever the hell you want. My controllers are all broken, so emulation is basically my only option now. Yes, indeed. Let's see, am I still... No, I got that. Oh, yeah, I've not gone into the ship yet with you, Lanky. I do have your blueprint. So Tiny's mostly done. Chunky... I need to do... Oh, I know what I need to do with you. Donkey's done. Diddy still needs some things. But I think... Okay. I know what I need to do. First, we need to switch to Chunky. We're gonna go into that little grotto where we were with Lanky and Tiny, because Chunky has a golden banana there. We'll take care of that. And then we can lower the water. But yeah, it's like, part of the problem is that a lot of these games are not being legally sold anymore. Like Donkey Kong 64, the only time it was ever officially re-released in any capacity was on the Nintendo Wii U. And the Nintendo eShop has officially been dead for... Actually, how long has the Wii U eShop been dead for? Like, at least a year, I think. So it's like, it's not being sold anywhere anymore. Load the cannon into the... Load the cannonball into the cannon, and now we gotta shoot the big targets with eyeballs. As we can see, we have a limited amount of shots, and the cannonballs also have some drop on them. And now, the last one. Man, I'm good at this. But yeah, it's like, what... At this point, emulating Donkey Kong 64, what money is Nintendo losing it, or what money's being lost at that point? There's no sales to lose anymore. So it's like, what's the dealio here? And plus, you know, emulation is how we get to experience things like the randomizers. And I don't think I have to tell anyone that the randomizers have been hugely popular and have really brought a lot of these games, you know, back into collective thought. Because, like, aside from the randomizer, who's thought about Donkey Kong 64 in any legitimate capacity? Like, of course, some people have, but not in any kind of collective sense. Nothing, it's pride and greed, indeed. It's very tragic. And of course, that's to say nothing about the general state of game preservation and making sure that people are still able to play these experiences, because, you know, no matter how good or bad a game is, it's... I've kind of come to this idea of, like, any piece of art, whether it's a book, a movie, a television show, a video game, is a crystallization of a moment in time. Because it is representative of the people who made it. You know, the Rare who made Donkey Kong 64 in 1999 is in a vastly different spot than the Rare now. Oh, right, I'm not able to... I have to go underwater to switch again. But, and yeah, what Rare was in 1999, they will never be again. And that's not necessarily a good or a bad thing. That's just, you know, the passage of time. That's just kind of how things work. But at least through the lens of playing Donkey Kong 64 or whatever other piece of art, you can still kind of experience what it was like back then. You know, this is where 3D was kind of chunky. It was, you know, not really that well figured out. Game cameras were pretty finicky. But there was also still, like, this kind of Wild West mentality to everything. The rules were not so defined. You could kind of just do whatever. And this was still the era when even, like, the big name developers and publishers that we know today were still willing, on relatively big scales, to throw money at ideas that are pretty out there. I mean, just take a look at Squaresoft in the 90s. They were producing and developing games at a breakneck pace because of the monstrous success of Final Fantasy VII. They took that money and they used it to develop so many games and publish so many games. Things like Parasite Eve 1 and 2, Brave Fencer Musashi, Vagrant Story, Einhander, Bushido Blade 1 and 2. You know, these like weird, esoteric ideas that if a publisher or developer were not willing and able to take those kinds of risks, we would never have seen those games. And we, as a collective, would have been poorer for it. So it's just kind of refusing to acknowledge that history or allowing people to experience it themselves, warts and all, is not just disappointing, it's almost offensive to the very idea of art itself. Because, you know, even something like the Mona Lisa was painted, what, over 400 years ago? It's still readily viewable. You know, it's not forgotten. It's still talked about. You can still go look at it if you want. But something from, like, 25 years ago, even, is so immensely difficult and expensive to experience for no good reason. It's just, it's unnecessary. And it's a tragedy. That's what it is. It's the vilification of emulation in general is really just a tragedy. I don't think there's really any other way to describe it. And it's like, I'm not really sure, like, what one jerk on the internet is going to be able to do about it, like me, but...
Welcome to bonus stage.
You know, if for whatever reason, like, big-name publishers and developers are listening to this, emulation is not the enemy here. Allowing people to experience these old games is intrinsically enough motivation to allow it. Like, I know that they would never do such a thing, but putting the profit margins and the stock prices and all of that aside, it's basic, just... Again, I'm not even really sure how to describe it. It is an affront to the creative process to not allow people to be able to experience these projects, even if they are old, and they're not really representative of who you are now. Because it was who you once were. It is a part of you, whether you want to admit it or not. Anyway, thank you for coming to my TED Talk today.
Welcome to bonus stage.
There we go. Yeah, taking it a little bit back to Donkey Kong 64 itself. Because, yeah, I admit, I don't know, sometimes it does feel like I'm just kind of stream of consciousness, going from tangent to tangent, just talking about whatever, but I feel like that makes things a bit more interesting. Believe it or not, I do actually have, like, an idea of what I want to talk about each time I fire up the stream, and just depending on where we are in the game or what's been going on, I got things I want to talk about. But sometimes just allowing these ideas to just flow freely and lead me to wherever they take me is just more interesting. Oh yeah, I know what I need to do. I just realized I've not been using the banana porters very much, probably because they're kind of strangely out of the way in this world. Wait, no, I know what I need Chunky for. Also, I'm sure there are some people who come into this stream and, like, I'm in the middle of some tangent and they're like, what is this guy blathering about? Yeah, I think... Or did I already shoot this one? Did I shoot? No, I did not, because, yeah, this one is pretty far away. Nope. There we go. What am I missing with you, Chunky? Well, I have your blueprints. Of course, this is always the fun part, trying to figure out what is it that I left behind. Thankfully, I still have my handy-dandy Nintendo Power Player's Guide with its beautiful full-color maps, which definitely help. That's also probably another reason why I still like Donkey Kong 64 as much as I do. I still have a resource that I can utilize that helps me minimize the amount of wandering around that I do. So now I'm just missing a banana bunch. I think it's not over here. I'm sure I'll find it eventually. Alright, so now we go to Diddy Kong. Nope, I need that. Well, I guess need is like too strong of a word, but like my monkey brain will be unsatisfied if I don't pick that up. I just realized, I think it feels like a large percentage of the golden bananas in Gloomy Galleon are bonus barrels.
Welcome to bonus
Splish
stage.
Splash Salvage. Maybe that's another reason why people don't really like this stage very much. It feels like there's not a whole lot of actual like platforming challenges. It's just a lot of like bonus barrels and that kind of thing, which are definitely fun in moderation. Not all of them are winners. Alright, now this one is interesting because the last coin is actually above the water, but the vines that lead you to it will only drop once you've gotten all the other coins.
Well done!
Nice. Alright, now we head back to the weird water cactus. Let's see, I think... Was it on this side? It's not that one. No, it's on the other side. Thankfully, we're given more than enough time to find it. Ooh, some crystal coconuts. Always top up my supply. Alright, that's all of Lanky's bananas. Alright, let's see. I think all that's left is just turn in the blueprint pieces, yeah? No. Yeah, Lanky, Tiny. Chunky's missing 5 bananas. I gotta look for those. DK's got all of his. Okay, yeah. Alright, well. Guess there's not to do but look. And again, knowing how this game operates, it's probably somewhere I would never have any reason to look as Chunky. Wait, hold on. I think my brain kicked in. Did I look in this pocket? Yes. Okay. Well, looks like I got that one. I know I picked up the ones by that Trophenscoff portal I always use. Don't scare me like that, Chunky. Oh, this is always the fun part, isn't it? Did I get everything on the pirate ship? Now, am I still going to be seasick when I go back in here? Because if I am, I'm going to be very sad. No, it looks like it's fine. Excellent. I thought I had gotten everything in here. No, I don't think... It's either... It's gotta be a banana bunch. I'm pretty sure. Maybe I didn't collect... No, I'm... Oh, this is always the fun part. No, I got those. Got those for sure. Wait, is it one of those? No, it should be... There should have been just like a banana bunch above the banana porter. Did I miss it when I was going through the thing? No, I got all those. Those are some DK coins. And I'm only missing 5, so it's gotta be a banana bunch. It's like, I know these extra bananas don't do anything for completion, because I've already gotten the banana medal, but like, it's just gonna gnaw at my soul. Let's see, I think there are coins in this crevice. Please, just let me pick up the cash. Oh my goodness. Got it, okay. No, I don't think there's anything... Yeah, there were bananas here, but I'm pretty sure I collected all of those. I know I didn't turn any in yet. Ah, curses. Actually, I think I can keep the... No, I cannot keep the water level low right now. I think there were only supposed to be coins in, like, Chunky's section of the group pirate ship that everyone was able to get into. Is there anything in here? Oh boy, now we get to the fun part. Okay, I'm gonna try one thing, because it's really the only thing I can think of. And if it's not there, you know what? I'm just going to admit defeat, and we will move on with our lives. Out of my way, pirate ship that lags the whole game. So let's see, according to the guide, there's only supposed to be coins in here. But it is pretty dark. Let's see. Nope, I don't see him. Wait, hold on. No, that's tiny coins. Found it. I need the water level to be high. I was like, Wait, hold on. The one should take me back to... Yep. And once again, my stubbornness pays off. Once we go turn in our blueprint pieces, we'll then go fight the boss. We're well on our way. Oh, blueprint's looking pretty good. Still got a ways to go, but we're making progress. I will say, the one nice thing about this sequence is that it gives me the perfect excuse to take a water break. That's better. Yeah, if anyone needs to use the restroom or go get some water or something, now's a good time to do that, because we still have Diddy's and Donkey Kong's blueprints to turn in. It's like I can't fast forward any of this, so... You know what? I think I realized why I always use the specific Trough and Scoff portal that I do. It's because the banana porter, after going to Snide, drops you off right in front of one. So it's like, it's right here, might as well use it. Alright, so for this boss, we need 250 bananas. Munch, munch, munch. All right, Lanky, your turn. Who's gonna fight the boss this time? I mean, it's not like I planned for this or anything. Oh, it's Lanky Kong, what a surprise. Really, any Kong could do this fight? You are correct, Flag. It's just, I guess it's Lanky's turn. But this is Puff Toss, the boss of Gloomy Galleon. So you use the same controls as with the Seal race, so hopefully you were paying attention. Yeah, drive through the DK stars to raise the pylons. Once you've raised enough of them, you'll, well, Puff Toss will be in for a shock. Come on, Defender, you can't be taking easy hits like that. But yeah, that's the basic conceit of this fight. Also, after one hit, Puff Toss will occasionally generate a shockwave. Just if you stay on the outer perimeter of the arena, you will not get hurt. But of course, this attack is mostly used to deter you from trying to collect the DK stars. As you can see, the amount of time you get per star drops the more hits you do. And the stars themselves will actually shrink a bit, though that's a little hard to tell at this stage in the fight. I don't think Puff Toss is like a bad fight or anything, but it's whatever. Thinking on it now, maybe that's one of the other reasons people don't really like Gloomy Galleon that much, is the overemphasis on swimming, and that you're not really using any of the skills that you've picked up throughout the game. Like, you don't have to use your shooter very much. You don't have to use like any of the cranky potions that you get. It's just a lot of swimming, and even the boss fight is using a vehicle. No, I need that. And also, now that the stars are so tiny, we have to fight against good old N64 draw distance to try and find them. At least weirdly, the later stars seem to be more frequently found on the perimeter. Not always, as you can see, but more often than not, which weirdly I think makes it a little bit easier. Alright, one more hit and we win. But yeah, as you can see, now they're really small. And with only 10 seconds, there's not a huge margin for error anymore. That was close. All right. Well, I think we've seen more than enough of Gloomy Galleon for today. So why don't we get out of here, shall we? Oh yeah, that's another thing about Gloomy Galleon. The hub has a golden banana, but we actually cannot get it yet. We have to come back later. Just one more thing that annoys me about this place. That's right, Lanky. Obla your way out of here. There's key number 4. Alright, so we want to switch to Diddy Kong, because that path that was opened up, which we can quickly access through the number 3 banana porter, takes us to World 5. But also, there are a couple golden bananas we can pick up with Diddy Kong specifically. Oh, and there's a DK dirt pile here too. But yeah, we fly up to the tip top of... Wait, hold on. I think I got my order of operations mixed up. First, we're gonna collect this. Now, I forget, can I quickly cross this gap? Not quite. That's alright, we'll just use the cannon again. But yeah, I think I was looking in the wrong place. Again, thanks to the N64 draw distance. We want to go over here. There it is.
Welcome to bonus
Peril
stage.
Path Panic. Again. Alright, and now we wait. Oh, you guys, you get hungry kind of quick. Okay. Alright, that'll do it.
Well done!
Don't mind the scream that just happened. They're fine. Alright. There's just some film. Yeah, but I like this little world hub. Even though trying to access nom nom tasty fairies. Indeed. Well, okay. I don't know if they're actually tasty. Nor do I want to find out, because that's mean. But yeah, also, this is the most annoying, like, wrinkly doors to access. Like, you keep having to pull this lever as Donkey Kong. And again, you've seen me use one of these doors. It only provides one specific hint for one golden banana for each Kong. Like, it's just, Rare, I'm not sure how useful you think these are. They're not worth it. I'm sorry. I know that's mean to the recently deceased, but they're not. Sorry. But yeah, if we check the ceiling, we can actually see this weird mushroom. And if we give it a quick pop with a peanut pop gun, it changes color. So yeah, now we gotta hit it with all the other Kongs. I will say, I do like that a stage's lighting will kind of permeate the tag barrel. I don't know, again, that's just a nice touch. How did that phase through? Someone please explain that to me. I think I'm too close. Let's back up a bit. No, I can't see. Okay, somehow that hit counted? Wacky hit detection. There we go. But doing that reveals this, a chunky pad, which we cannot use yet, but we have access to it now. And over here is a feather switch, which reveals a fairy. Oh, you're a spry little one, aren't you? Oh, that was too far. Gotcha. Alright, very, very nice. Let's see. We are past, like, the 2-hour mark. And usually I like to go for about 3 hours, but I admit it does feel a little weird, especially with the cadence we've been hitting, to, like, start a world in the middle of it and then have to leave. I don't know, that just feels... like, it makes me feel like I'm gonna forget something in the interim. Especially considering, if you were on Discord and you saw the schedule, we will not be playing Donkey Kong 64 tomorrow. Instead, we'll be playing something else. So you know what? Even though it is a little bit shorter, I think I am actually going to call it here for today. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to stay in the overworld because apparently, the overworld song caused my last Twitch VOD to be muted at the end. And it's like I was delivering all of my ending stuff, and so now it's just not there, which is really annoying. So maybe if I stay here, the omnipotent copyright gods will be placated. I hope. But yeah. I think that's going to do it for today, everyone. So, thank you for stopping by, everybody. I hope you enjoyed yourselves. As I said earlier, not going to be Donkey Kong 64 tomorrow, but hopefully there'll be more Donkey Kong next week. If you'd like to stay up to date on the things that I do, please consider following. But, for now, this is the Defender, signing out. See you later!